So there's a brand new movie on Netflix. Now, this is not technically a horror film. It's more sci-fi thriller, whatnot, but it feels like it fits this channel for sure. So we're going to discuss it. It is a original story. It is called It's What's Inside.
Yes.
And I say this once in a while. I should say I say this all the time, but I do start some of the reviews this way, and I think that it's important because this is the kind of film you should go into blind.
Yes.
You should just watch this completely blind, don't know anything about it, and just let it unfold like we did.
Yeah.
And we were kind of guessing. She had made one guess. I had made another guess. I ended up being right when it presented itself, but before that, we would have no idea what the hell this was going on. It just felt like this and that. So all I'll say is that there's friends that are getting together for like a bachelor party, and they go there, and then an old friend shows up that they didn't expect to get there, and he brings something with him that makes the party change drastically. It's a very intense party game. We'll just say that. So I thought this was really good, really entertaining.
Yeah.
But I was actually, so if you struggle at all with like new characters and who's who,
like character names.
Character names, characters' faces, all that stuff. This is going to be a mindfuck of a film because I was sitting there most of the film trying to figure out, like, wait a minute. Who's what? Shit.
They do try to like help.
They do. They do a good job.
Things,
but my brain was struggling last night. And I think it might have been because I was tired and we were on like multiple films and I had just come back from the doctor and you had a lot of distractions. But
it's definitely a movie you want to make sure that you're paying attention to, like you're not distracted and on your phone. And I don't feel like you will be distracted or anything because it is a very like engaging movie. There's a lot of drama. I feel like this is like this year's Bodies in terms of like the age range of the characters and everything.
The way the characters
the way they interact with each other. And but it was really entertaining, and there's some really messed up stuff that happens too, and just like, oh man, a lot of those kinds of moments. But I had a really good time with it. I thought it was great. I really like the style. I think we both were really into the way they do some flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Really cool. And just in general, like the lighting and the way everything looks was very, very nice.
Yeah, a lot of cool style in the film.
Yeah.
The direction very much elevates the film.
Yeah.
You know, you always have that aspect of the film that can make or break it, right?
Totally.
Like, depending on who you hire to direct. And it always feels like, you know, the script is one thing, but then how you present it is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And there's so many films that we watch that the director just basically takes the camera and says, okay, in this scene, we need to have this person having a conversation. So let's put the camera right in front of them and let them talk. There's so many different ways that you can go about framing a scene or you know, taking a scene and breaking it into different elements and adding your artistic flair to it, and it dramatically increases the enjoyability, the visual storytelling, which I think that's the thing that's the most on display here is this person's attention to visual storytelling.
Yes. Because
this is a story that could be so confusing. I had started this by saying that I felt like it was like hard to follow at times, but the director really did their best to make sure that I wasn't too lost.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of film where you could get lost so easily.
Right.
And they do a very good job of keeping this artistic while also hand-holding a bit with the style choices and the way that they kind of like move the camera in and out.
Yeah.
I'm being so vague
because
it's hard to not talk about the
spoilers
of things.
Yeah.
So I'm like stumbling over my words to be like, not say the wrong word.
I know. There's moments where like the viewer is supposed to be in the dark along with the characters.
Yes.
And then most of the film though, the viewer has knowledge that the characters don't necessarily have.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of what you're meaning, where the visual storytelling for the viewer lets them know, like, this is what's really happening, but the characters might not be clued into something that's going on. So it's very cleverly done.
Yeah.
And
it'll keep you guessing.
And just that's the engagement, like, an entertainment factor of this. I think that people are going to really dig it, honestly, especially the same crowd that really liked Bodies is gonna vibe with this as well.
This is gonna sound like a weird comparison since I'm gonna contradict everything I'm about to say, but it feels like a murder mystery without the murder or the detective.
Yeah, it's kind of like it
plays
Clue?
out like sure that like, or like Knives Out or more like the Glass Onion, those kinds of Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, it kind of plays out like that because there's all these very unique characters off in their own corners doing things, and you're trying to like unravel the mystery of what's happening,
right?
Even though you already kind of know, you just don't. You don't
have
know
the full, the full context.
It's
hard.
This is such a hard film
It's a hard
to
film to talk about spoiler free, anyway. But it's a recommendation for sure.
If you like mindfuckery, sci-fi films that deal very heavily with like relationship drama, because a lot of this has to do with like hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned, and relationship drama between tons of friends who are fake as fuck, and a lot, the influencer culture, which this generation, I struggle with them. They're so superficial. They're so fucking fake. They want everything to be so curated and perfect. And it's like, that's not life. That's not how things are. And they're just so hollow and vapid. And they love to fucking, like... Anyway, I'm not going to go off on a soapbox tangent right now, but I really struggle watching this generation. I do.
It definitely capitalizes on some of the negatives, I would say, of this generation. And maybe some of the positives, too. Like I really like the humor and everything that's in this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's so easy to satirically poke fun of this generation.
But you can do it with any generation, to be fair.
You can,
it's
but
definitely
this
not
one
just like
like shooting fish in a barrel. It's so simple because they are so vapid. There's so much like virtue signaling about how wonderful they are when they literally don't do fucking anything but be keyboard warriors.
All right, Grandpa.
Change nothing.
All right, Grandpa, get off your soapbox.
I know, I can't stop. It drives me nuts. Anyways, all right. We'll see you in the comments.
Bye.